Welcome to my short show, Material Minutes. Today I'll be addressing a rising issue within the video game market, corporate greed. This issue has been on the rise alongside the value of the video game market, currently worth approximately $76 billion. The most common product of this greed is DLC. DLC is additional content created for an already released video game, which you usually pay extra money for. It is reasonable to say that most games these days would have some kind of DLC involved, as it can be a very good thing, possibly increasing the life of a game. Take, for example, Civilization V. The game itself had a mediocre launch with some issues, but as soon as the DLC Brave New World was released, it made the game incredibly better, adding things that weren't in the game previously and fixing many of the previous common bugs. Unfortunately, the process of adding DLC has started to be used simply as a money grab. Very obvious examples of this are Day 1 DLC. If you don't know, Day 1 DLC is DLC which is released at the same time the full game is. Not too many games take advantage of this, but one particular case quite an outburst. Mass Effect 3 was launched with a Day 1 DLC for the price of $10, and this bonus content included one DLC character and a side quest line. This brought up much controversy, as it had been discovered that the game data for the DLC was already on the disc but was hidden simply behind a paywall. An incredibly recent issue has exploded within the virtual video game platform, Steam. Steam has an inbuilt system called the Steam Workshop, which is where people would upload their mods for free so other players could enjoy and access them easily. The very recent issue is that Steam has made the decision to allow people to add prices to their mods to allow them to get some form of profit for their hard work. Since this change, forums have exploded with hate towards this decision, and this hate is understandable. People don't like change. Not only that, but there are also some incredibly large issues with this new system, including legal issues, quality assurance issues, and copyright issues. If a mod copies a movie like Star Wars and adds lightsabers, and they are making money from this, doesn't it then become an incredibly large legal issue, as they most likely don't have the rights to do this? Who then gets sued? The profits are split between the mod creator, the game devs, and Steam. There is also no way to assure quality of purchase. Some mods might completely break the game. The creator of the mod then has no obligation to fix it. They can simply ignore the requests and rake in money from the poor customers who don't know any better. Some mods need other mods to work, forcing you to buy a chain of these instead of just the one thing you actually wanted, potentially making you pay a whopping $20 for just a different mount to ride around. Another increasing issue is microtransactions. I believe that these in-game purchases have mainly originated from mobile phone apps, specifically free-to-download apps. These apps would have a special currency which you would pay real money to obtain, and this currency would provide to the player an advantage or easy ways to become more powerful. Clash of Clans is a prime example of this, as you can pay real money to buy gems, which instantly build structures that would normally take days or increase the production of your resources. This ideal has leaked into full-blown video games as different looking objects like guns or characters for a certain amount of money. While this may not negatively affect the game's playability, it can potentially limit the creativity of the players to their wallet size, because instead of the different options being already put into the game, they are locked behind paywalls. All this leads down to whether these changes are for the best or for the worst, and I believe that these recent changes are for the worst. The very minor DLCs should already be put into the game for no extra cost, whereas I wouldn't mind if some of the more substantial ones still cost money, as they potentially add life to the game. As long as these DLCs aren't blatantly money grabs, I would find them reasonable enough. This is probably because I have been eased into this new idea through age, but I can very easily understand people who completely hate the idea of any form of DLCs that aren't entire expansions. These money-making tactics employed by the developers are and always will be decided by the consumer, so let's just hope that the consumer doesn't become blinded by the developers' tricks of trade.